Hello. Hello. Welcome back to Paying Attention. Okay, what's this? And what's this? This is Chris Castle. And what's this? I think only he knows, and he's going to tell you what that is. So, all right, I'm going to let Chris take it from here.
Thank you. Can you guys all hear me? Is that okay? Yes? Maybe?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to talk about Keg.io, which is a project that I started with some buddies. This isn't going to blow you away technically. There's nothing like, I don't know, great new programming paradigms or things, but it's more just like about fun and hacking and getting to drink beer. This was Carter, I think, emailed me and he was like, hey, what's the title for your presentation? And give me 2 sentences. And so I threw this together. But it's more like that. So Keg.io is, as I said, is a project about beer. And you know, everybody likes beer. This guy does. This guy likes beer, right? This guy definitely likes beer, right? I've been working on this late at the office for a while, past several weeks, and one of my coworkers came by and she was like, how many hours do you spend here every day? And I tried to figure it out. I don't remember what it was, but she said, it's probably time to get you a girlfriend. So anyway, I'm Chris Castle. I am at CRC and I work at Simply Measured, which is where Daniel works also. He talked about Excel in the browser yesterday. I'm a product manager, but I kind of masquerade as an engineer, developer. And we're pretty cool. We're up in Capitol Hill having fun. We make this stuff. Daniel showed you something. This is Excel, and this is also like renderable in the web browser, like SVG, crazy canvas stuff. But anyway, to get to the part that you guys are probably more interested in, what is Keg.io, right? Keg.io is Node.js plus Arduino plus beer. It's a project I started like 3 years ago with some friends and kind of been working on it off and on. And so we were like, let's figure this out. So the beer part is the kegerator, a keg, hopefully full of beer, and a whole bunch of sensors. The Arduino, like this 8-bit microcontroller, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with. I've fried several of them. I don't know. It's probably just dealing with hardware in general. I've never done hardware, so this is a new thing to me. But anyway, I kind of see the Arduino as Homer sitting there in the control room. And then actual Node.js is like the brain behind everything. And I'll explain the details of like where Node.js is. It's not on the Arduino, but how it fits into here. So why did we build this? Or why did I get this idea and start building this? I like to start lots of projects and not finish them. That's one thing I'm really good at. But honestly, no idea. There's so many other things I could be doing with my time, like productive things, like with family or friends or work, that gets me paid. And I just enjoy hacking with this stuff. I get to hang out with these guys who are the 3 other guys that work on it with me. This guy Carl had done Arduino stuff before, and he started working at my company, and so we kind of just started brainstorming on stuff. Garrett actually has design sense and can make things look pretty. And then this guy Dylan is just a better coder than most people I know. So we got together and we had this company event called Mustache March, where everyone was growing mustaches. And we were like, okay, for the party at the end of Mustache March, we're gonna have this kegerator ready and be serving beer from Keg.io by the end of March. So we're growing mustaches. Obviously, some of us are more successful than others at the growth. He was in a special category by himself because everyone was supposed to grow over a month, but he had been growing for many months. Pre-existing condition was the name of his category. So we figured we got this off of Amazon Prime, $2.99 or $3.99 next day shipping. Awesome. Kegerator showed up next day at my house. We get an Arduino, valves, solenoids, things, sensors, and a whole bunch of chips. Write some code, wire it all together, and just like, it seems pretty simple. It's doing some simple functions. How hard could that be, right? Not. It's as I said, I started this 3 years ago and have been like doing it on and off because I just get pissed and decide to start other projects. Many late nights leading up to the Stash Bash at the end of the month of March, but we got it done, and that was V1, and it worked, and we served beer, and people were excited about it. We all worked, to step back a little bit, like we all worked in like business intelligence software and data processing, so we're all kind of like data nerds, and so the idea of like capturing data was kind of interesting to us. So we wanted to capture our beer drinking and beer consumption data. We weren't necessarily going to look at it individually, at least. But so this was V1, right? So we used Serial, and this was like 3 years ago. So I think it was before a lot of that stuff, like the Node Serial library and the Fermata library and some of the other stuff had been written. So because we were just like talking to like a file descriptor or like kind of like managing a buffer ourselves, and it was a shit show. This thing would crash all the time. Like the serial communication got effed up. So the three pieces are like the Arduino plus its kind of like add-on shields, a Node.js server, which we just had sitting on the table next to it, connected to it with a serial cable, and then a web browser, which the Node.js server also served up. Can't see that too well. So that's V1. I kind of don't want to talk about it because it's done. V2 is similar setup, except this thing's in Amazon Web Services now, or just somewhere like out on the internet, right? And this thing connects to the Wi-Fi network now, and then talks to this guy. These two still talk the same way. So I'm going to walk through like the typical like conversation between the Arduino board and the Node.js web server. So we kind of had to like build a protocol or figure out how we were going to communicate. So just up and running, everything's working. The Arduino's got here, it's got sensors like inside the kegerator here, and it says, hey, Node.js server, it's cold, it's 42 degrees, right? So there's we made a pseudo like REST HTTP protocol. So it makes a put request and says, hey, the temperature for kegerator ID 1111, which is this specific one. So there's many kegerators to one Node.js server, so we can have multiple kegerators talking. I've got one at Zulily downtown in Sodo, where there are a bunch of developers there who are hacking on this too. So the temperature is 42 degrees, and we keep track of that. And then there's like notifications if it gets too high, gets too hot in there. And Node.js says that, okay, that's cool. So back here, there was like a 200 request or 200 response or something. And then the Node.js server says, hey, clients listening to WebSockets, 42 degrees in kegerator 1111. So you come to the web UI, and it prompts an update of the web UI to say, hey, it's 42 degrees on there. And this web UI would be like, say there's like a TV with like a little computer running on it, just needs to run a web browser. Could be next to it, or it could be like, you could be at home checking in on the kegerator to see who's drinking. So the next thing that happens is someone comes up with their RFID card, and they scan it. And Arduino says, hey, Node.js, this scan happened on this kegerator ID. Here's the RFID ID. Passes that over. Node.js gets it and says, okay, like I'm going to do a lookup in the database. That's a legit ID. Let that guy drink. Return 200. So then the Node.js server also goes out to the WebSockets and says, hey, anyone listening to this kegerator? Chris just scanned his card. And then Arduino's like cruising along. It notices that the pour is done. It says, hey, 11 ounces were poured. Makes a put request. These are centa-ounces. There's reasons behind that I'm not going to go into. Node.js says, OK, 11 ounces, got it, saves it in the database, keeps track of my card ID, I poured 11 ounces, date stamp, some other stuff. And then Node.js says, hey, there was an 11-ounce pour by Chris, for those guys listening. And web UI shows my face like from Gravatar and says, oh, Chris, you poured 11 ounces. And that kind of updates real time, and I'll do a demo later to show you how that works. So this is kind of like the overall explanation of what the Node.js server is. You can't see that too well, but there's like static files, so the HTML, CSS, JavaScript. We're actually serving the images from S3, but static file server, it works. It's not great, but it's fine. Serves as a keg API, so all the kegerators talk to it, and there's kind of like a documented API, pretty simple way to talk to it. Oh, and there's security. I didn't show you guys on any of these requests. We sign these requests with the Arduino. That was hell figuring out, by the way. We sign these requests, so there's like a signature parameter on the end, so you can't hack it or send data in on your own. So there's that keg API, which gets temperature information, flow information, and then a data API. So I can see like, oh, show me all the users associated with this kegerator. Show me all the pours associated with this user. And various historical data like that we could chart or do some cool like data visualizations with. And then it serves as the WebSocket server also. Yeah, so let's do the demo. So first step.
Yeah, I'll volunteer.
We probably need just one cup. So the first thing I'm going to show is, can you guys see this? No, you can't see that at all. Hold, please. So what we had, we were like, okay, I want to work on this. We have, there are 4 of us working on this. It's hard to always be like next to a kegerator when you want to hack on this or have time to hack on it. So we, you can run the Node.js, the keg.io server. Let's see, locally. But we were like, okay, I need to put data in there. So we kind of created like a little Node.js script that's kind of like a mock of a kegerator. So you can run the test client, which starts sending data in. It makes card scans, it sends in temperature, it sends in flow, and you can hear this thing, or you can see this thing, the keg server, hearing that stuff and saying, oh, okay. I see what you're doing. And if I can pull over.
Yeah. I want to copy maybe.
So you can watch this updating as the mock are pouring. And we have we made some, for those people that aren't technical or kind of excited about this stuff, they're like, why the fuck, I don't want you tracking my stuff. Why should I use this thing? You're just limiting my ability to drink beer. So we added this badge functionality, which kind of got those people excited, right? So we were doing the Foursquare thing, or I don't know what it is, but.
Foursquare.
So pour a beer with CascadiaJS, pour a beer before noon. You get the early bird badge. I think if you pour 4 beers in an hour, you get the take the bus home badge. What else is there? Oh, there's the if you go for 3 weeks without drinking and then come back, you get a fell off the wagon badge or something like that. So that's how that works. And you can see, I'll show that actually in a minute. So this is going locally. Yeah, so those are the folks that helped create it. And then, let me stop all this stuff. All right, now, hopefully the demo gods are looking kindly on me. because we're going to go up to that Amazon server and use this one, talking to AWS. Where's my mouse? There we go. So this is, if you all hit this, it might shit the bed. So I don't know if it's going to stand up. dev.keg.io is hitting this server up in Amazon Web Services. And if you, let's see. We have two kegerators going. So there's the Zulily one, which is not this one. This is the guy that works at Zulily. He got his all set up, and he has like, obviously he's drinking a lot of 0-ounce pours, testing it. So that's his. Zulily does like baby clothes, like flash sale moms and baby clothes, if you guys don't know, but yeah, of course. But then we can move over to the simply measured one. So this just created it loaded the page, created a WebSocket connection to the Node.js server, and then this board right here actually made it on the Wi-Fi through all the noise we have in here, and is also talking to that server, making those like get and put requests that I showed you earlier. So I kind of want to see the temperature show up first, because then I know it's working before I scan it. I'm going to reset this. Okay. Maybe. Well, it doesn't look like it's talking to the, there's a connection broken somewhere. I'm going to try to scan it anyway. Yeah, she's not talking. So what would happen, this is our RFID card, CascadiaJS RFID card. There's a RFID reader on here and a whole bunch of other junk, as you can see. And so it's booting up right now. Makes a Wi-Fi connection to the local network here, and then says like hello world out to the server just to let it know it's there. And like those badges on the left should turn green. You should see a temperature value there, but the demo gods are not playing nice. And so when you scan your badge here, it talks out to the server. Server says, oh, I know that guy, you can let him drink. And then comes back, and when this receives the 200 response, it's going to send a message down here and open the solenoid that's in the line. Oh, thanks for whoever brought this. So there's for those of you that can't see this, there's a solenoid flow meter in the line here, and then there's this temperature sensor, and so that's where it's capturing all its data. And for situations like this where something shits the bed and we're like, I just want to drink a beer, V2 has a hardware override button, which forces the solenoid to open, and it requires 2 hands, but you can see it poured some beers. So that's...
Hey Chris, how does that beer taste?
Do you want to try it? It's mostly foam now because the keg was sitting in the back of my car. That's the Lucille IPA. Highly recommend it.
This is some tasty IPA.
Portland approved.
What's that?
Portland approved.
Portland approved.
Portland. Thank you, Portland. So what's next? Like, what are we going to do next with this project, or what am I going to do? I kind of want to get it to a stable state. So once it's kind of like working stable, like this is obviously chaos here. Like I'm going to drill a hole in the back of this mast here, and this little this is like a 6-pin microphone plug, and it will plug this bird's nest here into the sensors coming out of there. But after that, like what else can we do? There's all this data, and I mentioned the data API. Do you remember that? So there's like this opportunity to do lots of data, stats, and visualizations, and all sorts of cool things. I want to like get it to the point where people can help out. Other people can help out with that. Next thing is like the post-pour hook, which if you know like how Git or GitHub works, like you can make a post-commit hook or kind of configure or set up a post-commit hook so that when you make a commit to a repository, the Git server will make a post request out to some URL and provide in the body of that post request the information about that commit. So I was like, hey, why can't we do that with CascadiaJS? So when a pour is complete and the Arduino card says to the Node.js server, hey, 11 ounces was just poured by Chris, we're going to make the server then trigger a user configurable post pour hook. So it could like make a tweet, it could do like your Foursquare check-in, or there's this service similar to Foursquare called Untapped, which is like you can check in, I think, at different bars. I haven't played with it, I'm not sure how it works.
Can it text your wife?
You could make it, you could probably use Twilio, right, and have it text your wife or phone call your wife if you want. Say, come pick me up. Or yeah, you could like just store the data for it if you're into like that quantified self thing where you just like data about yourself and want it for years and years and years. So really, like, there were too many ideas. Just like, did that move? Really, there were way too many ideas. Like my head was exploding trying to keep track of all the ideas and figure out like what's worth doing and what's not worth doing. So really I have two goals. I want to get to the point where anyone can contribute to the project. So the code is chaos right now. It's pseudo open source, like in a feature branch, and we're going to clean that up, get it to a place where people can contribute both to static files. So this is like to the web GUI, because I don't do design, like visual design stuff very well, and it would be awesome to have someone who wants to like hack on JavaScript and visual design and make that look awesome. And then data API, like we could do big dashboards, or like have, if there are 10 kegerators all connected to one Node.js server, let's look at beer consumption and beer types and all the things that people are doing with them just for no reason other than it's fun. And then my other goal is really like to get it to a point where you can like go to the keg.io website, have a parts list, or maybe even like a whole package that you can just get, order this thing from Amazon, get your Prime next day shipping for $3.99, and I want to get one like set up in all the Seattle offices. I was at work 2 months ago, and the guy that runs Airbrake, which we use at Simply Measured, and also runs, he doesn't run it, but he does like, he's a product manager there, and does Redis to go also, which is like a Redis server that I think is mostly used by people with using Heroku. You can get a Redis instance like set up by them, and you don't have to worry about managing it or maintaining it. And he saw this thing and he was like, oh, this is cool, I want one. So I'm going to try to help him get one set up in San Francisco now. So that's the plan, like to try to kind of get to those two goals, and then we'll see what happens after that. There have been lots of people have mentioned there's like commercial opportunities or business opportunities around this, and I agree. I think there's like lots of stuff that could be done. I just haven't had I kind of don't want the responsibility of that, I guess. I kind of want to keep playing with it and hacking on it and putting it aside when I'm tired of it and bringing it back when I'm not tired of it. So that's pretty much it. Thanks. That's all I got. Yeah. If you're interested in getting one set up, like hit me at this email or on Twitter, or just chat with me. I actually have to run to get back to the office, but I will respond virtually. So thanks, everyone.